Pensions, amongst other things, this morning on BBC Radio Solent, because if you've saved into a pension pot and you're nearing retirement, you're going to be very much aware that annuity rates have fallen to a record low. There's some very, very few people around who think that they will recover. Most people still use their pension fund to buy an annuity at retirement. That's, of course, the one that guarantees the fixed monthly income for life. But now with rules allowing you to access your money in different ways, is it time to look for other options for an income? Well, Alun Newman is in Christchurch this morning on the hunt for an answer, and I bet, Alan, there are lots and lots of different answers to this one. There's never a simple answer when it comes to pensions.
Get ready for some fantastic free financial advice. Welcome to the home of MFP Wealth Management. They are based just outside of Christchurch. I'm in their conference room, nice comfy chairs, a bespoke wooden table, a huge whiteboard where we're drawing illustrations at the moment up on the whiteboard so I can get my pea-sized brain around how annuities work. Why is this in the news again? Many of us will have flick through the papers. We understand annuities. It's a way of buying an income when we retire. And in the 1980s, they created an illustration to help people. And that was a 65-year-old man who had £100,000 and he needed to buy an annuity. That would keep him ticking along then for the next 10 years. And in the 1980s, that was great. But if you have £100,000 now and you're about to retire at 65, that should get you something in the region of £4,000 a year. Now, that is not a lot of money in pension terms, particularly comparing that to the 1980s. So what on earth are we going to do? A lot of people in a recent study are turning their eyes towards the world of the buy-to-let. And that is partly why I'm here, to see whether we should be ignoring the annuity and thinking of more creative ways to do things. Since 2014, George Osborne said, look, you save the cash, you can have the cash. Justin King is the managing director here at MFP. Talk to me about annuities, Justin. Are they, for starters, £100,000 for annuity is rock bottom, isn't it? Are they now bad news?
They are for a lot of people, but a lot of people, when surveyed, have said they want a guaranteed income for life. And that's what annuities do. They're risk-free. So they do what it says on the tin. Guaranteed income for life, thank you very much. Not for everybody, though.
Another piece in the paper this weekend you may have seen is that a lot of financial advisors saying if you retire at 65, you need over £250,000 in cash to generate yourself an income, which is a lot of money to have tucked away in a fund. Is that just unrealistic, or is that now someone stepping up and saying £100,000 isn't going to get you very far?
I think people need to understand exactly what they're going to be spending in retirement, and understanding, they might go down to from 2 cars to 1 car, they might downsize their house, they may do lots of things. So really understanding what the expenditure is likely to be, what their dream of retirement or fulfilling retirement would be, and then establishing how much money do they need to do that, and then looking at the state pensions, any old occupational pensions they may have earned, and any money they've saved within their own pension plans, private pension plans, work pension plans, and also just kind of cash savings in the bank.
A lot of people simply won't have enough money. They'll be listening to this and thinking, it's crackers that we're suggesting you have £250,000 saved ready to go. They may be part of the group of people, 1,500 people surveyed, 55% of them said they were thinking of going into the buy-to-let market in order to fund a retirement. Surely that is a great idea.
It depends on how long you've got to run. Obviously, the tax bill around buy-to-lets has been significantly increased. The chancellors of the day have looking at the buy-to-let investors and thinking there's some money we can get from tax from this. The increase in capital gains tax, increase in stamp duty, and obviously the inability for the high-rate taxpayers to offset their mortgage payments and their mortgage interest payments against that rental income. So there's a lot of tax complexity around buy-to-lets. You are running a business. Is that what you want to be doing in your retirement? Some people don't. So it's understanding, what actually are the implications of it all, and understanding what your income needs are.
You drew me on your huge whiteboard a fantastic illustration in blue pen, and I sensed from it, as you showed me tax and you showed me annuities and you explained that actually when you retire, do you want to be running a business? I sense from you that you are not a fan, particularly of the buy-to-let idea. If I rock up here and I've got some money and I'm 65 years old, that it doesn't excite you because you think maybe it's so simple, that's why I've been drawn to it.
I think we understand buy-to-lets, don't we? We've looked at our own properties and we've seen the increase in prices over the length of home ownership that we've had. The problem is we don't know that's going to happen again. So we also, in our minds, forget the cost of buying the home, cost of selling the home, the cost of possibly inheritance tax when we pass that wealth on to our loved ones. So it's understanding all the intricacies around the buy-to-let. It is for some people. It is a great investment. Some people have been really well served by it. Will it be the next thing for the next 25 years of your retirement? That's really got to be, really established and understood.
So, Sasha, it's a bit of stepping up early if you can, having a look at what you've got saved and thinking, well, where am I going to be in the next 20 years? I quite like it here. It's nice coffee machines. It's kind of a classy environment. I want to be here to understand it, but yet what they do does seem quite complex.
Yeah, very, very much so. Justin, can I just ask you something about annuities? Because if people are now sort of going away from annuities, and now we do have the pension freedom that we can go and do exactly what we want with our pension pot, as it were, these providers who've been dealing with annuities, if they've got less and less and less people actually going to buy an annuity, is there any chance that maybe rates will start going up because they, that's their business, so they need to attract people back to that way of getting a pension?
I'm afraid not in the short term, in my opinion, Sasha. The gilt yields, which is where they're really backed by, have been substantially falling over the last few years. And even this year, we've had 15% declines in the annuity that you could have got at the beginning of the year comparable to how much you've got today. Also, you're absolutely right. The less people who buy an annuity, the less the pool is, and then therefore the less the amounts of people contributing to that amount of cash that we can all receive from an annuity. So people are looking at lots of different things. One of the classic things we advise people on is the flexibility of drawing down a bit by bit from your pension, a bit of the tax-free cash and a bit of the investments or the savings that you've amassed within the scheme to top up the annuity or top up the state pension that you're receiving.
Just talking about state pensions, actually, what is if you were going to buy a state pension as in sort of like as if it was an annuity, if you see what I mean, how much would it actually cost you to buy the state pension? How much we get?
Absolutely, it's a great question, and on a very broad brush basis, I estimate, because we've got this inflation linking attached to it, we've got this triple lock guarantee, though it's not actually a guarantee, we've got to look at, there's further devil in that detail, but I reckon about £170,000 plus to get that income from an annuity. So if you think about how long it would take or how much care you would take over £170,000 if it was sat in your bank account, is the same kind of thought process you now need to look at your state pension and going, am I entitled to the full amount? When will I get it? If I'm not entitled to the full amount, is it possible to kind of buy some added years or pay some more money in to get the full amount? This is a really, really valuable benefit. It's over £8,000 a year for the full entitlement. For a couple, that's over £16,000. That's huge.
Justin, can you come in here and be our expert guest at some stage on our midday clinic, do you think?
Absolutely, love to.
Excellent, good. We'll get lots of specific questions to you. Justin King, thank you very much. Alan, I'm going to let you get back to that whiteboard.
Yeah, I'm going to go and buy a sharper suit and come back here for some work experience. I like it. I'm going to spin on a nice comfy chair and sit opposite a big computer and do very well.
A nice pinstripe suit, I think. Cheers, Alan. Thank you. It's BBC Radio Solent. This is Jackson. Show you the way to go.